Good morning, guys. Never easy to start one of these, a travelling home day. It's been an incredible journey getting out here. The vacation itself was absolutely superb. Facilities where we stayed here at the Roseland International were pretty much spot on, to be honest with you. Had a few little issues, but nothing major. We've had issues in the past wherever we go, so it doesn't matter. It's when you turn around and say you've had a good holiday, but it's what you do yourself when you're out here that makes it a great holiday. It's down to you, and all I can ever do is give my opinion, my observation of what I've seen throughout this. Everyone will have a different experience of their time out here. Some people come out to Orlando once, okay, yeah, whatever, but I'm in with a select group of people, probably in the millions, that come out here, decide that this is where we call home because it's where the heart is, and we come out time and time again. My first time 1997, wife's time Rachel 1995 with her family. We've been out since then. Rachel, this was her 18th trip, my 17th. We predominantly stayed, when we first came out here, the plan was always to be International Drive. It was the Sheraton World opposite SeaWorld. We first came in 97 together as a young couple. We come out with a plan of having our honeymoon back at the same hotel in 1999. That, because of having renovation works though, and it now became the Doubletree Club, they enforced a move on us and moved us to Lake Buena Vista, and that started a love affair with that area. We truly do love Lake Buena Vista, Hotel Plaza Boulevard, Palm Parkway, State Road 535, all of that area. We know it like the back of our hand. So this felt a little alien, yet it's the sister hotel to where we generally stay, because as things have progressed onwards and prices have just gone through the roof, they literally have. SeaWorld the other day, for breakfast we had a cookie, a donut, a coffee and a latte, and it came to $30. Whereas we had a meal the other day at either Applebee's or even Mel's Diner and come to the same price for a lot more for your money. So you've got to weigh things up, you've got to look around, get the best deal, the best bargain. And we've been happy here, don't get me wrong, but we will prefer it when we go back to Lake Buena Vista, October 2024. Again, we will be doing Halloween Horror Nights, we'll be doing Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and truly enjoying another hopefully memorable holiday. Behind me here, you see the I-4, that is your road which will go from Orlando to Tampa. Now when we turn around and say we holiday in Orlando, we don't actually see Orlando. We're in like a suburb area. You've got counties, Williamsburg, Orange County, Lake Buena Vista. The actual city of Orlando itself is further up that way. We don't see, you see it in the distance as a big city with the skyscrapers, but you never venture into it. We used to back in the day when I had Church Street Station, but that is from a bygone era. Anyway guys, the idea of today's plan is to show you the route back from where we are now here at Roseland International Drive, back via the route back to MLB, which is Melbourne Airport. We used to fly from MCO, Orlando International. The TUI, who we got the absolute bargain with, they have an 8-year deal with Melbourne. It used to be Sanford they had a deal with, then they got the one at Melbourne, and there's only like 5 or 6 flights in there a day. So it's pretty relaxed. Although last time when we arrived, we was met by a Glasgow plane that just came in, and it was absolute chaos round where you collect your baggage, etc. Apart from that, it was an absolute breeze. Everyone very welcoming, a welcome centre there, and cool as you like, nice smooth coach journey here. I'll film the coach journey back there, then I'll probably end the vlog there and probably do the return flight just to show you what that was like, to show you what TUI has to offer. Anyway guys, long intro. It's been worth it, like the holiday, hope you enjoy it, see you in a bit. For some people, simply watching the I-4 is enough. It's totally different if you're UK resident. This is another world, quite literally. Throughout this holiday I've been looking for the elusive gold duck. Never got lucky, but to be honest with you, if we found the gold duck, we would have given that said gold duck to a family with a young child to make it that little bit extra special for them. You're winning on the spot prize, such as a pizza or something from the bakery, and then you get entered into a draw to win a week's vacation, 7 nights here for you and your family, which is a generous offer, that's for sure. Just want to see this bit that says Rosen Inn one more time. We stayed, I can't remember what block this is, I think this is block 4000. We was on 3000, so the block that run parallel to that. I've done a resort on a room tour for you. But yes, thank you for having us, Rosen Inn. I know we go by a separate national flag, obviously the Union Jack or the Scottish Salto, because you do get a lot of people from up north, especially Scotland, coming to this area. That's because, speaking to friends who live up there in the past, they've turned around and said it's one of the destinations they go to, both Edinburgh and Glasgow. So where else are you going to choose? It's got to be Orlando, hands down. But I love just seeing that American flag, and then secondly the Florida state flag. Thank you, Rosen. This area here will be a big thing for 2025. All this area is Epic Universe, including the hotels. Still pretty much construction site. You can see the makings of things within there. They're supposedly still on course for May 22nd, something around that region. Whether we do it next year or not, we're still open-minded on it. We could leave it for another year because it's going to be extremely hectic. Rachel even owns a steakhouse just in the boundaries of MCO, Orlando International Airport now, and it kind of makes you think that, yeah, this is going to be further afield. We knew that coming in because obviously we've driven past it already a good 10-11 days ago, but perhaps it's a good thing in a way, because we get to MCO and you've still got a Disney store, you've still got a SeaWorld store, still got a Universal store, so you're rushing around looking in these shops, and Rachel's panicking that we've got to get to a gate, etc. So this might be just more of a calm settling in period, but we'll weigh it all up because we are back there October next year. Planes coming in, planes taking off. Spirit Airlines, that's like a budget airline. It's their version of EasyJet, I'd say. Certainly turning around and saying that the driver here likes his country and western. Just pretty much travelling eastbound, wilderness out there, not much to see, the train goes past. Home more to your bears and your gators, odd cougar here and there maybe, plenty of raccoons, squirrels, deer, but precious little else. Maybe a service station here and there, but this is true wild Florida. Still sort of very mangrovey, swampish if you like. We're sort of in the area of the St. John's River, which caused a heck of a lot of problems after the last two hurricanes, because as you get the backwash, the tail end of the hurricane coming through the Atlantic side, it pushes the water along the St. John's, and it rose maybe 10-12 feet in places, causing major problems. As we're just going past the rig now. Super cool. I do love a big old rig. A few cows out there. But just look at the expanse of land. Florida itself is bigger than the UK. Cocoa now. Last here ourselves visiting was 97. Went to the beach, had some form of pier barbecue. That pier disappeared in 99 with Hurricane Floyd and was rebuilt. But this is like a coastal community. Mackie D, Chevron. Of course, out here the car is king, so fuel prices are reasonable compared to what we have back home. And we've just gone on the slip road to the I-95, roads that are synonymous with Florida are the 95 and the I-4, and this is probably only about the 4th time I've been on it, yet we've been out here coming up to 20 times. $200 miles to Miami. Wow. The area we live in, Milton Keynes, is considered East Anglia and flat. I think we've been out-competed by Florida, that's for sure. This must be alligator heaven. In all the time we've been coming out here, we've only ever seen 2-3 wild gators, and all of those have been the resort area of Celebration, the Disney Community Complex area built, I believe it was 94. I'm not 100% sure about that. Big shout out to John and Gillian who live out in that area, or stay out that area when they come over here. The snowbirds. Obviously gutted this holiday this time around that I didn't get to catch up with my good friend Florida Phil and his daughter Kia, who was out here with her fella, and of course Sandra Harris. They were staying at the Ava Rosen, the one that we favour, which we would have been, and we would have met up because we would have been in the same location, but that holiday didn't happen and we moved it to next year. But I dare say at some point everybody's going to cross paths. background, it turns on and gives you all the side effects and saying that you might die. I'd rather not take it. Just come off the I-95 as we go across it. This is the general Melbourne area. I certainly would not mind getting my hands on that boat. Worth a few bob, that's for sure. Nice GMC truck there. All these areas here are going to be very similar, reminiscent to what you get around Gatwick Airport, Heathrow Airport, just with an American flavour to it. It's been a pleasant journey, a little over 70 minutes I guess. No delays, just straightforward pickup. NASA Boulevard, clear indication we're now on the Space Coast. There is a rocket going up this evening, but I think it's about 45 minutes, an hour after we take off. And I would imagine they'll need clear airspace, so we'll be well out of the area. Was fortunate that night, one of the vlogs, to actually see it going up. You just see a small vapour trail. I did turn around and say it was a comet just to try and get extra views, but the comet was very, very dull and to the west of us. Right, we have arrived. He said it's not the biggest of airports, but it does its job. Air Canada over there, I've flown with them before, to Toronto and Winnipeg. And as I said, specifically it's TUI has got an 8-year contract here, whereas they used to be at Sanford. It's a pleasant airport, smaller scale, a lot less flights during the day, and it might just make the difference, might make it a little bit easier. Are there insects in your organic garden? Right, well, we've checked in. That was a breeze. There must have been maybe half a dozen people. Obviously going to have other coaches coming in for our flight. I can't see it being that empty, to be honest with you. It's been pretty cool so far, nice and pleasant. Now all we've got to do is go through security, which we could see the security gate as we just walked out here, and get a final cold drink here, taking some of the air, see some of the sights before we pretty much go airside, and then we're not really on American property anymore. But it's been a real pleasure, so we'll catch you up the other side of security. Okay, security an absolute breeze, no issues whatsoever. I think there was a total of 5 people all together, so we was instantly in and out, bags through, obviously no issue whatsoever. And now we come into our departure lounge. And okay, yes, it looks small, but it's adequate. What do we need? It's very, very quiet. Totally chalk and cheese between here and MCO. Relaxed and peaceful, to be honest with you. That's one thing I do like. It's your usual, some people call it tap, but I call it treasure. And we will stick with that because we love Florida. Obviously, instead of Orlando, because we're no longer in Orlando, we're in Melbourne, everything's got a slightly different feel. It includes different snacks, totally different souvenirs. You get your beverages, candy, chips, cookies. Everything at a chilled out, relaxed pace. That is a huge bag of Jolly Ranchers. We're bound to grab something to have on the plane with us. Yeah, just some kind of cool, cute little novelties. More candy. Tap room bar, that looks really, really cozy. Maybe a final feel of Florida in there with a select cocktail. And of course you've got the butcher's block, which will do you deli style sandwiches. And I tell you what, price wise it's a lot more reasonable here than what it is at MCO. Just notice that significantly with the gift shops. The fact that what we see price wise is a good $5 to $8 cheaper on select items. Decided on having a final burger or cheeseburger. Not bad at 15 bucks. I mean, you're turning around and saying that's gonna be a good near on 30 at MCO. So it gives us that last sample for a year. Here's a little comparison for you guys. Imagine what it would be like at MCO. You've just got 4 planes instead of 3 or 4 boards racked full of it. Small municipal airport, but it really packs a punch. Last proper taste of America before getting on that flight. Both gone for a classic cheeseburger. We're not too much into having fries at this level, so Rachel's gone with hot coleslaw with hers, as well as the same burger I've got. And the idea being, we will just share it amongst ourselves. Oh, Rachel was just saying we're waiting for our plane to come in.
There it is.
And there it is. That is our return flight. TUI Dreamliner. And to be honest with you guys, I have never known an airport like this. It is so quiet. It's like a library in here. Which, when you just want to chill out and get on a plane, there's no hassle, no fuss. Everything's at a really relaxed pace. I mean, we just had a meal, a last cheeseburger meal at the tap bar, and there was absolutely zero hurry whatsoever. So laid back. That there is to be our bird. And of course we pass on the gauntlet of our fantastic holiday to somebody else, and then they'll pass it on to somebody else and somebody else and somebody else, and then eventually it comes back round to our turn again. So for everybody who's sitting on this plane, have the best time, and we hope it stands still for you. It kind of felt like we've been here longer than we have, because we've been so many times that once you've been here, say 2 days, it feels like you've never left. But there'll be those on that plane, probably their first ever adventure, probably the air of excitement, not knowing what they let themselves in for. It's going to blow you away, guys, it really is.
It was also 24 years ago I went.
That plane looks like a remote control plane compared to that Dreamliner.
It does.
Yeah, I'm
So our girl, our bird has a name. We are flying back to the UK on pixie dust. Looks pretty cool. We shall see soon enough. So currently, as the plane's been in maybe about half an hour, passengers would have disembarked. They'd be taking off their luggage, taking off excess garbage, as you can see below, refueling, putting our luggage on, replenishing the food and beverage stocks, and then it's all good to go. Significantly smaller, of course, than the old Virgin 747s that we used to enjoy going to MCO back in the day, where we used to go back up in the bubble. But our flight out was decent enough, and hopefully the return will be just the same. I'm sure it will be. Everyone's sort of a little bit more grumpy, should we say, when they're going back home after a trip, because they don't want to go home. And yeah, we'll just get through that bit, and then we'll be able to see from there what we truly reckon of TUI. But so far everything's been impeccable. Just simply having a nose now, just to pass the time, at the hangars over the back there with JetBlue, Canadian Air. As I said, I still can't get over how peaceful and quiet it is here. It must be a breeze in being an employee here, to be honest with you. No stress. More planes and hangars this side. This gives you a detailed look at how they operate, what they do. Menzies are all over the world. That one there, the private jet with the line across it, very reminiscent of the old Disney plane from years ago, which is hidden about somewhere, that's for sure. It's no longer on any of the sites. Anyways, we're going to end this vlog here. It's pretty much just a wait for our slot now, our time. We just had our last tasty snack, that being a Dunkin' Donuts Bavarian cream and a standard one with sprinkles. It's been good. We've enjoyed every single minute of it, and now all that's left to do is to vlog the journey back to see if it's at any much cop or whatever, but I imagine it will be. So, and then we may continue that and know what the journey's like back to Bletchley from there. So anyway guys, for the last time stateside, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the movies. If you've not considered subscribing, please do so. Keeps you in the loop and updated of what's happening in the future. It's somewhere in the region of probably 110 plus Florida vlogs I've done now over the years, amongst other things including urbex and doing motocross days out, all that kind of thing, zoo updates, and yeah, we're always on the go doing something. And the plan is to be back here, as I said, October next year, and we don't see you before, we will see you then. Take it easy, bye for now.